In China, they say 食在中国，味在 Sichuan, which means China's the place for food and Sichuan is the place for flavour. Really, from a Sichuanese point of view, the great thing about Sichuanese cuisine is this mastery of the mixing of flavours. Another Sichuanese speciality, which is typical of this complex layered flavours, which is guaiwei. Strange flavour.
Strange flavour. What's strange about it?
Well, the idea is that it combines lots of different flavour notes in the same dish. Numbing, hot from chili oil, sweet, sour, salty, savoury and nutty from toasted sesame paste.
Oh, wow.
And the idea is that you have all these potentially jarring flavours, but they're mixed together into a sort of perfect harmony of opposites. And that's also sometimes used in hot dishes, but more typically in cold dishes, and that's what we'll be looking at today.
I have here this chicken that I pre-poached for us in its poaching liquid.
Lovely. Yeah, and that's there are quite a lot of Sichuanese cold dishes made with poached chicken. But I have to say that I also use Sichuanese sauces for using leftovers of a roast chicken and even our Christmas turkey.
Right.
Shred the meat and serve it as a sort of cold dish with a Sichuanese sauce, and it's become part of my family's Christmas tradition.
Oh, that's nice.
The key to cooking a chicken for Sichuanese cold dishes is that you don't boil it, you poach it. So you want to carefully control the temperature so that the liquid is barely murmuring.
Right.
And also, as you've done here, you add a bit of ginger and spring onion, scallion, to 去腥味, to take away what they call the fishy taste, the sort of slightly, the less lovely taste of meat and fish. If you compare the taste of cooking a chicken or making a stock with and without ginger and spring onion, it's very noticeable. It's purer and more delicate flavour.
Poached chicken in like American cooking is pretty low on the, the pecking order of chicken preparations. Fried is crispy and juicy, and roast chicken has the beautiful skin. And
you have to give them poached chicken in a Sichuanese sauce and they will be converted.
Then they'll get
guaranteed.
it. Yeah.
Now we're going to shred the meat, and you can cut it into slices or slivers. And one thing is that in China, people would always include the skin, and they really like the skin, which also has a nice sort of silky, succulent texture, which it brings to the dish. But in my experience, a lot of Westerners, they're not so keen on the texture of poached chicken. So if you want, you can leave that out, but just
let's put it in. I like it. I like skinny, fatty, chewy, all sorts of things. So let's do it.
Chinese properly.
Yeah.
Proper Chinese taste. So strange flavour, one of those characteristic Sichuanese combination flavours, sort of like the everything bagel of Sichuanese sauces. Like you put in a little bit of everything, and it's supposed to all go together unexpectedly.
Is like bang bang chicken always strange flavored chicken, or is that a different thing? What does that mean?
Well, bang bang chicken is because in Leshan, where the dish comes from, they used to use wooden cudgels to loosen the chicken meat before tearing it into shreds. So that's the bang bang. And it is usually dressed with a strange flavour sauce, but the strange flavour sauce has other applications as well. Let's start with the garnishes, because I'm just going to add a little bit of spring onion white, which will be a sort of refreshing note. The white part of the spring onion or scallion is a bit more spicy, a bit hotter, and a bit more fragrant. And so it's often used in cooking or very finely slivered to add to some dishes like this one with quite a strong sauce. So here we have a bit of scallion white, and I'm just going to actually pile that on top of our chicken. And then also you've fried these nice and
Yeah, I hope they're fried to your specifications.
yeah, they look lovely. I'm just going to roughly chop them, and the easiest way to do this is to start by sort of pressuring them a bit with a cleaver and then chop them.
Oh yeah.
Right, so we've got the peanuts and the toasted sesame seeds and the spring onion, and now I'm going to make the sauce. So the key to the strange flavour sauce is some lovely Chinese toasted sesame paste, darker than tahini. We have a bit of sugar, bit of salt, and all this you can just do it to taste, and that's what I'll sometimes do at home, but you just have to be careful you don't eat the whole sauce before you're going to serve it. Light soy sauce. Dark soy sauce is used for colour mostly, and light soy sauce for flavour. And then some ginger and vinegar. So there we are, that's the sort of basic sauce. And now the very crucial chili oil. So that's my homemade chili oil.
Yeah.
Now the chili oil has a bit of sediment at the bottom of it, and it's really up to you whether you want to put it in. So normally for Sichuan folk cooking, casual cooking, it's nice to have the aroma of and the texture of the chili. I'm going to put a bit of it in. Can you see the sediment?
Yeah, yeah.
So, and the chili oil is up to you how much you add. And it's worth tasting, obviously, because if you buy chili oil or if you use different sorts of chilies, it might be hotter. So just taste as you go with this sauce.
Yeah.
When I'm just cooking at home, I'll just sort of put a bit of this and
Do it by taste.
just as you might do a salad dressing. There we are. And then, would you like Sichuan pepper or Sichuan pepper oil?
Oh, what do you think?
It's up to you. Do you want the smooth texture or the more traditional solid Sichuan pepper?
Let's do traditional. Yeah, let's go with the
And this
solid.
again, how much you want to add depends on how much you like that tingle and how strong your pepper is. So that's like how long is a piece of string. And just also it depends on who you're cooking for, because
Right.
if people are not used to Sichuan pepper, they might find it a bit alarming if you go overboard with it. And then finally a bit of sesame oil. So there, would you like to have a little taste?
I sure would. Drizzle some on there. Yeah. Oh my God, it's so good. Sure, I can tell there's the sesame paste and everything, but there's really a
strange flavour.
a strange flavor, yeah, a coalescing of all these flavors into a new one. It's really good.
Good. Well, should we dress the chicken? And often with Sichuanese cold dishes, if you're serving at a dinner, you might present them rather beautifully like this, but always mix them up before you actually eat them. And this is the nice crunchy nutty garnish.
Oh yeah.
And then let's have a bit of toasted sesame too. Shall I just mix it all up
Sure.
so that everything is together in the sauce? Go ahead.
So now we get some of this.
And you've poached it very excellently. You can just see how sort of succulent
It's
the chicken
so
is, right?
tender. Should I go?
Let's go for it.
It's really phenomenal. And I just want to say, it's so good with the chicken skin too. So everybody out there who is not into that, just get over it.
Yeah, it makes it more silky,
It
doesn't it?
does, yeah.
Excellent.
And it's got just this kind of like, I don't know, what's the word? Like an elegance or a finesse. Like there's this delicacy, even though there's some, stronger flavors, the texture and the balance of everything just gives it this beauty.